All of
You
them.
know what's funny is somebody actually commented and was like, "You should have named the episode Ginger and the Baldy."
Well, come on now. I wasn't bald then, and I didn't know I was gonna go bald then.
That's very true. That's a good
Dude, did you see? I think it was on IG. Vin Diesel did like an interview explaining like when the next Fast and the Furious was gonna come out, and he did
Mhm.
like this whole big thing, and he looked like chunky boy,
They got
right?
flat.
Yeah. So somebody commented on it because you know how in the movie his name is Dominic Toretto.
Yeah,
Somebody commented and put he's starting to look like Domino Toretto.
that's actually pretty funny.
I thought
Wait, I
that
didn't
was
see
funny as
that at
shit.
all. How many? How many Fast and Furious movies are there?
11, dude. This will be 11.
Well, let's see. His, I mean, his most
This
recent.
is well, it's like a continuation from part 10, so I guess it's still considered 10, but it's the 11th movie because the last like 10th is like a part 1 and part 2. So it's like just a continuation of that. Was not like a, you know what I mean? But it's still like 11 movies.
I've only seen, I think, the first one.
They're definitely over the top, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But I have invested in every single one, so I'm going to finish it out and see them. I don't think they're that bad. Like the first one's obviously the OG, that's the
yeah,
greatest one.
mhm,
The second one was kind of booty cheeks. Not gonna lie, that was a downgrade.
right.
Third one, which I think is the most underrated one, which is the Tokyo Drift. I think that one was
Mm.
awesome.
I never saw that
The
one.
fourth one, the fourth one was like supposedly when Letty died. That was average. I was okay. The next one was when they were in Rio, and that was the introduction of The Rock.
Hmm.
I was solid. I wasn't too bad. The sixth one was actually my favorite. Um, that was when they found out Letty wasn't dead and she was running with another crew. And the seventh one was the one Paul Walker didn't finish. He died before he got to finish
Yeah,
that one. That one, unfortunately, I thought was it was okay. Just a lot of things in that movie would never fucking happen ever.
right. Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
the eighth one I actually liked a lot was Charlize Theron.
Mhm.
That was pretty badass. And then nine was the one with John Cena. That was okay. I will not. I'd give that
I
like
didn't even know he was in that movie.
the ninth one. Yeah,
They're just kind of bringing everybody in.
all that big timers. Yeah, and then the tenth one is obviously the one with Jason Momoa,
Yep.
the newest one. I don't give any of them lower than a six,
Uh-huh.
and I don't give any of them higher than like an eight, except the first one. The first one I'll float as a nine for me because I just thought that was really epic the way they made the first one. But
Like they're movies that you would watch, but you probably wouldn't watch it a second time.
not all of them. Like
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift, I've watched several times because I like that
Okay.
one.
Right.
The sixth one I actually watched several times because that one was my favorite next to the first one.
Okay.
First one I will watch every day. It was just badass.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people didn't like the Jason Momoa one. I mean, I thought he played a pretty weird character, but it grew on me after I watched it a second time.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked it. But if
Yeah.
they are on TV, whether it's 1 through 10, whatever one, I mean, I'll watch it. I'll leave it on. But like, I'm
Yeah.
not. It wouldn't be like something I'd be like, oh, let me watch fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, I wish I could speak on it because I literally have only seen the first movie. I haven't seen any other ones.
Did you like the first one?
It was good from what I remember. It was such a long time ago that I watched it.
The thing is, like, you won't get bored. Like, it's pretty action packed
No.
from beginning to end. It's just going to be one of those things where, like, you're going to think it's either horrible because of how far fetched it can be, or you're going
Yeah.
to think that's pretty badass because you know it's not realistic, but it's cool to be in a movie.
Well, see, that's why I like all of Jason Statham's movies because you're like, this
It's real.
could happen. You're like, this could
It
happen.
could.
You
Yeah,
know,
he's somebody whooping ass.
like Beekeeper, that was phenomenal. That was so good.
You know what, bro? I'm glad you brought that shit up because
Oh no.
I got a motherfucking story to tell
Okay.
about some fraudulent activity.
Huh?
Fraud. That's what the beekeeper was about, brother.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I didn't say for like for you.
Yes, for me.
Was this recent? Like you haven't told me
Like,
yet?
it was like 2 days ago.
What the fuck?
Listen,
Fill me in.
so okay, so listen to this. I was. It's so funny to explain because it was like I got frauded by a phone call that tried to fraud me during the phone call that frauded me after the phone call.
Bro, did you fall for it?
I did, but let me explain.
Okay.
Well, I was already like, like I was on my way to training, so I'm like in that mood where like you're
Right.
not really, you know what I
Thinking
mean?
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I'm driving the car to the gym. It's a 40-minute ride. I'm about 20 minutes out. Just got the music going. I'm feeling it. About to drink my pre. We're in it now. I get a call from this random number, and I'm like, nope, not answering it. So I hit like the not the fuck you button, but like to get it off the screen so my
Yeah,
music
yeah,
comes
yeah.
back on.
Right.
They call again, like right away. And I'm like, I'm not gonna answer it. I'm like, if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail or something.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's what I do.
Called a third time in a row, and I'm like,
What's really like if this is somebody that needs help that I know that doesn't have my number, maybe.
well, I still didn't answer it. I'm like, if it's that important, I'll leave a voicemail, or maybe they'll
Right.
text me. I don't
Yeah.
know. They called for the fourth time. I'm gonna say, okay, fuck. I picked it up, dude. It was all back to back. Like it wasn't like a couple minutes later. It was like boom, boom, boom.
Right. One after another. Yeah, yeah.
I picked it up, and I'm like, hello. They were like, hello, we speaking to Nicholas Walker? I'm like, yeah. They were like, we have suspicions of some fraudulent activity through a Zelle payment. Are you aware of these activities? Did you
Bro,
receive a text? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm
I
like, no,
had
I
the
didn't receive
same
shit.
shit happen to me. I know
So
exactly what you're about to say.
yeah, so let me finish. So I'm
Yeah.
going back and forth with this girl. Claimed her name was Rebecca, right? Finally, I get to the gym parking lot. I'm sitting in this gym parking lot on the phone with this girl. I like plug in my password in and all this shit so she can get access to the code. All this shit, bro. Right? Listen. So it finally came up the Zelle payment that I guess she was trying to put through, which was over $14,000 to a girl named Lorraine. I swear to God, and I'm like, so why she's explaining this though? Like she's so good, and she's like, did you see the Zelly? It's for over 14,000. We're trying to put a block on it, and I'm like, yeah, it's right here. And I'm like, and the whole time in my head, bro, I'm like, this is a fucking fraud, and I know it, but this girl is so convincing, and I believe her. I knew it the whole time, but like it was just so convincing. This, and I'm all like,
If
and
you
I'm
knew,
trying
why
to
didn't you hang the fucking phone up?
because it was so convincing. Because I don't fuck with my money, bro. So I'm like, what if this is real? And she sounded so convincing, and I'm already like in the mindset, like I gotta go train. Like let me handle this shit and get it done. So we're going through this whole process. So finally, she's like, when we're done putting all the securities around your account, we're gonna give you a call back. I said, cool. Went about my workout. I'm like halfway in the workout. I'm like, oh no, I don't know about that. So I go to type in my login for my account.
Can't log into your account.
I couldn't get in. And I'm like, dude, my heart like just sank. And I'm like, oh. So I called that number back, and it was the real number, obviously, because they faked it. And I'm explaining it to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, we wouldn't have called you. Like, we would have just sent you the
Nope.
text." And
Exactly.
I'm like, "Oh, so I'm fucked, eh? Like, is that what you're pretty much saying?" And he's like, "Well, I don't want to say that directly. You know, this could be a miscommunication." I'm like, "Don't fuck with me, man. Like,
Yeah.
are we fucked?" I did. I started freaking out. He's like, what I think you should do is probably go to the bank. So
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I'm like, okay. So luckily, mind you, bro, I'm mid workout, so now I'm
I know.
already
You ruined
pissed.
your fucking workout.
So I type in, my bank. There's one 4 minutes away. I'm like, fuck. Get in the car.
Yeah.
I must have like scared the guy working at Bank of America though, because like I walked in and he's just standing there, with his little iPad thingy, whatever. And I come trolling in there like a bat out of hell. And he's just like, and I'm like, are you busy? And he's just like, no. And I'm like, I have an emergency and we got to handle this shit right now. And he's just like, come to my office. I said, let's go. So I explained to him, I swear to God, just like that. I explained to him like the whole situation.
Yeah.
We call like the whole fraudulent department. He gets into my account and he's just looking at it. He's looking at it. And I'm like looking down because I don't know what's happening. I don't want to know what's happening. And he's just looking at it. He's looking at it. And I'm like, is everything there, bro? And he's like, well, I mean, it looks like it. I don't know how much you got up in this bitch, but I mean, it seems fine. So I look and I'm like, okay, well, we need to handle we need to handle the business. So he
Right.
called the fraudulent people. They went into it. They went real deep into it. They put a block on everything. I just changed all my passcodes.
Yep.
And then I even downloaded this app on my phone to like that kill switches like anything that tries to like hack my bullshit.
Yeah.
So I
Totally.
set that up.
Good.
So knock on wood, nothing was taken. So
They didn't. They weren't able to.
no, because when they tried to get the 14,000 twice and it was denied. It was
That's because it was
denied.
such a big amount.
So I
That's
was
why.
like, so the fraud they just put like a whole block on the whole everything and I just changed all my passcodes and everything.
So that's the thing is with that because the same thing happened to me, but it actually went through. There were four
What? How
stuff
much?
that it was 2,000 total, and
Oh,
I mean it's
lucky
not.
you.
I know it's not 14K, but no, that's the thing is it was such a big amount. So your bank was probably like, "What the fuck? This is weird."
Yeah.
They said the same thing. They're like, "If we ever do call you, we ask you your verification security questions first," and they didn't do that to you, did they?
No, and
Exactly.
you know what also gave it away? Because dude, I was freaking out on this girl. I'm like, you're a fucking fraud, and I know it. You're a fucking. I said it like 30 times to her, but she was so calm about it. Like, dude, if I had like a secret camera in my car that filmed this video would have went haywire. If everyone probably laughing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Be like, Nick's a fucking idiot. That's
right?
so
Yeah, exactly.
funny.
So you know how I knew shit was fucked up too, because she kept like repeating the last four digits of my cell phone number, to make sure it was correct, right? And at one point, I'm like, "You can stop fucking repeating it. Like, I think we know what the last four digits are." And
Yeah.
she goes, "Okay, fine." And I'm like, "A bank? Someone would have never fucking said those words."
No, dude.
And I'm like, "Fuck."
Because
So
so what
that
they do
was,
is they call you from the actual, like they make
yeah.
it look like they're calling from your bank, but they disguise their number. I don't know how they do it.
I don't
Like
know, but Rebecca's was really Lorraine, and she almost got me.
she almost got you for $28,000.
Yeah. So I will say though, my bank, their security system is A1 because everything was denied.
That's really yeah, that's good.
So that was, but dude, yeah, that was not a good day. But then because I was only in the bank, literally the whole thing took me like 12 minutes total. I went
That's
back
good.
to the gym and finished my workout.
Yeah, you felt better probably. You're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at it like this. I was like, okay, realistically, I only stopped training maybe for 16 minutes. I'm going to take this moment to rationalize in my head and pretend I just took a 16-minute dump and needed to catch my breath before getting back into training.
Yeah, you're not gonna stop your workout for the day.
Yeah. I didn't have much left. I just had to do one shoulder movement and two tries, but I'm like, fuck, dude.
Well, at least you didn't get your money actually taken away from you.
No.
Could have been a lot worse. You could have been 30 grand down.
I know. But
That's
I'm
fun.
like, it's funny too, because like I call my dad and I tell him, um, he's just like, dude, you better go to the fucking bank, bro.
Yeah.
And then I
That,
didn't even bother calling my mom because she would have made me feel worse than I already did. So I'm
yeah,
not it.
for sure.
So finally, I tell her, and she was just like, oh. She's like, "What are you dumb?"
You fucking idiot. What the fuck are you doing?
And I'm like, "Okay, mom, like I get it. I don't need."
Dude, people are getting very creative with like how they do things now. Like
I
I
do.
honestly I
Remember the
was
screenshot that I sent you about the toll? And I'm like, "Bro, is this real?"
bro, you fucking you go, do I actually I'm like, Nick, no. I'm like, fucking read the message, bro.
Well, eventually it becomes convincing because it's the eighth time I got this message. And I did do some traveling in the car, and I'm like, did I cross the fucking toll booth and didn't know it?
No, you'll get like
But
you'll
so
actually,
because you keep getting it, it starts to make you wonder.
but you'll get something in the mail. And it's like
I
the text
know.
messages where it's like your package is ready for pickup, and you're like,
But you're funny. You're like, no, dude, delete the message.
yeah, I was like, don't fucking click that.
I'm like, okay, dude, swipe delete.
Anytime from now on, if you get a call or a text, just text me like, is this a scam? But yes, don't
Well, it's
answer.
hard to do that on the phone.
You should text me like, dude, somebody called me and said they're
I should have
14,000.
been like, no, I'm on the phone with this person right now.
They're asking me for a Zelle of $14,000 payment. I'd be like, no, don't do
I
that.
know, dude, but it was so believable.
They make it
Oh my
believable for
god,
sure. But then you think about it and you're like, they didn't ask me my security questions like the bank does.
they didn't ask me shit, dude.
Nope.
So I'm like, yeah, I fucked up here.
They caught me like literally a couple days after my show. So my brain was still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they get you at like the right time.
I don't understand how. I'm like, are you tracking my fucking phone? Like where I'm going?
Like, do you know? Like, I'm not in the right mindset. And I'm distracted. Like, do you got cameras in here? Like, what the fuck's happening?
I'm
God, it's
just
good,
happy
bro.
I haven't had any worse. Like from like a monetary perspective, I haven't had like crazy number ones. I know there's some
It
people that have
makes
gotten
me
scammed with
just
much.
want to stick all of my cash
You
underneath my
you
mattress.
should save some cat. Well, not underneath your mattress. Get like a safe.
I thought about it and
You
put like
should.
a good amount in there.
You should keep. You should keep cash. I think it's a good idea. I do it.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure. Because what
I should.
happens?
Well, also, I need to anyway, dude. Because here in Jersey, I don't know how it is in Chicago, but like when you go out to places, obviously not every place, but a lot of places here, you can't like tip with card. They want all cash. You know, like
Yeah.
Florida, like it's you can tip however. You
Yep.
know,
Well, I went to
here
a.
it's unless
Oh,
it's a restaurant, obviously, like it's cool. But like if like when I went to go get my, I took my mom to get a pedicure. They let me do it on the car because it was my first time there. But they were like, next time, like we don't, it's cash only. And I'm
yeah.
like, wow,
It's just
okay.
because it gets taxed so much.
Yeah, so I now realize a lot of places here. I'm sure is Chicago like that too.
Some places are like I went to take the Jeep in to get the transmission looked at, and it literally has a sign on the wall that says
Cash
cash
only.
only. So it's like
That's
they get a $5,000 payment. That can't be tracked.
they keeping that shit.
Exactly. It's
Oh,
smart
how is the
though.
car? How is the car?
It's good. It started.
The bullshit again?
It did that weird shit again, but then the check engine went off. So I'm taking it in today or tomorrow. But he's
That's
like, yeah.
sketch. I mean, I don't know how much it is, but I'm like, just give me a fucking new one, dude.
Well, I just told him I'm like, just can you just look at the transmission to see if like the fluid's low? And he's like,
Yeah.
well, no, like the parts and like it's just super busy. I'm like, I just need the fucking transmission looked at. If it's low on fluid, clean it
Like,
out, put new fluid in. That's all I need. Like it's not
you
gonna
want to
take
do
that
it?
long to do it.
So we gotta do make an appointment.
Yeah, he was like, you just drop off the car and leave it here. I'm like, no, I want to know when it's gonna be done.
Like, yeah, what do you mean? I need the
Like,
car, bro.
so, but I'm getting my car shipped up. They're picking it up tomorrow.
Oh, so you don't have to go back.
No,
Who's who's uh who's taking the care of that for you?
it's a company I used when I went from Reno to Florida.
No, no. Who's making sure they get the car?
Oh, I gave my key to the leasing office.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, so they'll take care of it, and then it should be here by early next week.
Oh yeah, that was how much was that?
1,300.
That's not bad.
No, because when I
No,
went
that's
Reno
not.
to Florida, it was like 1,900, but it's
Yeah,
less
yeah, that's not bad.
mileage. Mm-mm.
Especially for where you're going, that's not too bad.
No, so I'll have my car.
Well,
We'll
good
get
for
her.
you. Now you don't have to go back.
I was like, I don't want
Because
to
you were
fly.
going to, right?
I was gonna fly down for the day and then like take care of it myself and then fly back up. And I'm like, if I don't have to go down, I don't want to. So
Well, no, because I mean, if we, what were you gonna do?
'cause
Fly back down and make sure they got it?
yeah, I was gonna fly down.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do that, bro.
No, so they were like, we'll give them the key. I'm like, perfect. I don't
Thank
want
you
to.
very much.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be here, and then that's everything.
That's convenient. That works out.
It is, and it wasn't a pain in the ass to get it. And this car company is actually pretty good.
Are they?
Yeah,
Good for
it's
you.
a because they do like it's basically you have with any trucking companies, you have like the third party, the middleman, that's like the
Yeah.
logistics guy that
Right.
calls out truckers. So this guy that I worked with last time, he's super easy and convenient.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. That's easier. Easy part. No, you don't have to travel anymore. Dunzo.
Dunzo until we go to Australia.
Is that like the next upcoming trip?
September. Your birthday's in August, though.
A month from today.
Are you still get?
Literally.
You're what? You just hit 15 weeks out.
I'll be 14 tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it is the weekend. You will be 4. So you'll be 10ish weeks out on your birthday then.
Yeah.
Maybe Kyle will give you a little burger.
Well, he got mad at me, actually, because I haven't really had a cheat meal in the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, and
Why?
I just don't crave it. I don't crave it.
Did you
I'm
eat
not
all your
hungry.
cookies already?
Oh well, yeah, that shit was over. They were gone weeks ago, bro. Like, but I'm like, he was like, why? I didn't say not have them. I'm like, well, I mean, my weight was trending up. I'm staying lean, and I'm just don't crave food.
Could you imagine a
He's
coach
like,
saying, "Go ahead"?
he's like, go have a fucking cheat meal this weekend, please. And I'm like, all right, I'll just let you know how it goes.
You know, a coach that gets mad at you for not taking a cheat meal.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't craving it, so I'm like, I'm good, bro.
Well, you
But
can just go get like a nice burger and fries, and then like if you want like a little sweet treat or something, like a cookie.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. If I'm gonna go, I want cheesecake. You know,
Oh yeah, that's
that's the
that's the
go-to.
Nick special.
I mean, you know what I mean. This is something I got to do. But he was very happy with my photos I sent to him yesterday.
Well, yeah, you're
So
what 284, 285, and your condition's really good.
285 this right now.
Yeah, and your conditioning's like night and day from what it was last time at 285.
Yeah, he's like, you look like a fucking tank, bro. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I think the plan's working. You know, we're doing well. He's like, no, Nick, like, you look like a fucking tank. And I'm like, yeah. I said, we're pretty lean, which is cool. He's like, no, Nick,
He's like,
like,
shut the fuck up. You
you're
look like
pretty fucking lean for 15 weeks out.
yeah.
Like, and that was when he asked me about the whole cheat meal stuff. And he's like, can you go fucking have one?
Yeah,
So,
I think like the next 15 weeks, you're gonna cruise into Olympia.
and I'm not really even doing like cardio that hard, bro. Like, I literally walk on the treadmill at like a one incline and the 2.0 walk for a half hour. Like, I
That's
don't
not
even,
bad at all.
I'm just, and
You guys are probably not
I
gonna have
just,
to. Go ahead.
training wise, um, I am starting to feel like a little fatigued, inflammation, very
Yeah,
little, not
for
much, but
sure.
I feel it. So like this week, I'm not necessarily lowering the volume in terms of sets. I am a little bit like taking a set off everything,
Mhm.
but instead of doing more of a higher rep, I'm actually gonna do a little heavier weight on the machines. So I don't have, so I feel like even though I'm training heavier, it's lower rep, which is less inflammation overall.
Yeah,
Um,
it's less load on your body.
Obviously keep the way I train the same, just not try to hit like 12, 15 reps, say like lower like 8 to 10 for me.
No, I think it's a good idea. You're also like in the fucking left corner of your screen. Can you like center yourself? I notice that every time you'll start here and you just slowly start to go like
I
this,
migrate,
and
bro.
then you
I
like go
migrate.
lower down.
Like, Nick, the fuck you doing, bro?
Speaking of the Olympia, do you? Because I don't remember who posted it. Do you think it would be better if they did it invitational like they do the Arnold, or make it more prestigious? Because I can play both sides of it. I could see like
I
the
like the
versus.
idea of an invite only,
Mhm.
but I think with what they've done with the Olympia, it's like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you win a show, you make it.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
go ahead.
I think in that degree, if they try to change it, I don't know if that would necessarily make a whole lot of sense. Um,
because
I
there's
think
just so many pro shows. Like Classic had 60 guys, which I think is it's a lot.
it's
It
too much. And in that sense, yeah, I think it could make a lot of sense.
it sucks
Um,
because it's like you're not going to take the pro shows away because then that's money out of people's pockets that like they have a business they're running, they have a show they're promoting it, like that's what they're that's their business. You know what I mean? So I think I don't like they're not going to take pro shows away. That'll never happen.
no,
Um,
yeah.
I think doing an it would almost be like how we were talking when there's like A tier shows, B tier shows. You have like New York, the Arnold, Olympia, like those are all obviously top shows. They can maybe categorize them to where if you compete at certain level shows and you win, you have like a better percentage of getting to the Olympia, but there's like a cap number of people, like 20 per class.
If they were to do something like that, okay, if it's going to be an invite only, you can also look at it from like maybe even a prize money like percentage, right? Like I would even say if it's an invite only, I would say like each tier,
Mhm.
A show, B show, wins a certain amount of money at first place.
Yeah, because it has to be worth it for you to compete multiple times.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think of it this way. You know what? The Olympia right now is what 600. You got the Arnold at 750,
Yeah,
and the Arnold is obviously invite only, but the Olympia wasn't. It's like one of those things. People compete to win to go to the Olympia,
for
right?
sure.
So if you kind of strip that away, and it's only become an invite only, I think the winnings of the certain tier of the shows would have to go up to make it worth it for people to win, and then obviously have that incentive to want to get invited to the Olympia, obviously,
Yeah,
um, because obviously not everyone's gonna get accepted.
totally.
So um, I if they did it that way, I think that would make a lot more sense for sure.
Or
But
it
I
could
do
be,
think
go ahead.
there is way too many people. I mean, 60 people in what classic? There's like 60 in the physique, 60 in bikini.
There's a lot.
Then you have what 20, 25, 30 in open,
Yeah, open's been upwards of 30, which that's a lot for open guys.
and I think you have anywhere from 20 to 30 in 212.
Yeah.
I know they got rid of the point system, which I think was a great idea, but I can't really say it changed much,
It
to be
only took out
honest.
like three people per class because the top
Yeah,
three from points went to the Olympia. So it's like you're only really canceling out three spots.
and I do. I think it would. I would be down for the invite if they did a more of an incentive for everybody to want to compete, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think because they changed it to where only top three requalifies out of top five, right? Or is it top five for
Uh,
open still at least?
no, it's top three.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good they did top three just because then it's like, it's more of a fight to actually get to the Olympia. They could do something to where you
I
have to
I
win.
think. I mean, I even think, and this is even gonna be on me too. But I think if you don't win, you got to requalify.
That would make it even more prestigious. I don't
Yeah,
just,
I do. I think if you don't win, you got to requalify.
yeah, because then that opens up another
Because
additional.
I do think that should be a gift given to the winner. Like if you win, dude, like you're golden. We'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
What
I
do you
mean?
think of them doing like lifetime qualification when you do win?
I think that's fine. I'm actually fine with that.
But even if you lose the following year, you still have a lifetime qualification.
Yeah, I mean, you win it. Like you're winning the prestige show.
Hmm.
I don't see an issue with that. Because they're the most prestige, right? So if you win those, cool. But it's like seconds. What do you deserve? Why you lost? You got to requalify. You lost.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I think it's from the perspective that two people want to see competitors compete more each year.
I
Because the
mean,
only thing
taking that lifetime qualification away would, without a doubt, make shit more interesting. And I
I
think
think I think it
I
would.
think that would be cool.
The thing is,
Honestly,
I like the the lifetime qualification, but that's where I come from a standpoint at like if say like Samson won, obviously, right? He wins the Olympia this year. If he gets second or third, okay, you don't have that qualification anymore because you lost. It's like you have to
so
regain it.
you're saying you can only use it for a year.
I'm saying if you keep winning, you can. So like, say he were to do,
No, I'm saying it's only good for the year. Is what you're saying.
yeah,
Like if you win in 2024, you're automatically qualified for 2025. But if you
right,
lose
because
in
you won.
2025, you gotta restart.
Yeah, so it's not. It's like you really don't. It's not a lifetime qualification
I,
anymore
I think
because
that makes things a lot more interesting.
I think it does. Because then you
I
have people
don't.
that maybe won in the past. Like for example, Phil, when he came back, he didn't have to requalify. He just went straight to the Olympia.
Yeah,
It would make it more interesting if like, oh, Phil's doing New York to like, you know what I mean? Because it creates more hype for these other shows. To
it
where
is cool to a for a standpoint to see somebody work their way back up again.
for sure, Ian was talking about losing his pro card so he can go win Canadian nationals
Yeah,
and turn pro again.
yeah, yeah, fuck it. I guess that'd be cool. I'm on board.
Right?
I think that'd be cool. And I mean, I've said this before. I understand why they do it. So like, I don't
No, I
really
do
say
for
anything.
sure.
But I also think it won't one day show. One day show.
I don't.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it being a 2 day show.
Mhm.
But I think every
Every category should have the same
category
day.
goes on one day.
I think that would be better just because it's a lot on you guys to have to try and hold a hold your peak or get better into the next
Yeah.
day, and it's more stress on you guys to have to keep that look. So like you say, you nail it at prejudging, you can't get any better. You have to wait 24 hours and keep that same exact look, which is very very
To
hard.
me, I think it's like, look, you got one day, you either nail it or you don't.
Exactly. It's like don't give somebody time to get better because you show up on show day to be your best. Now you're getting an extra 24 hours to potentially you have the one
And
day.
I do think it should be earlier in the day.
Yeah, not having you guys at night for well,
No,
everyone else is in earlier in the day for prejudging, and then you guys obviously because it's the 2 day show,
I think if they want us to go last, obviously, like that's cool and pretty. Like I get it,
but start at
but
like 9 instead of
it
mid.
should just be like every other show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
You
think
know,
you started at 9 a.m. and then you'd be done by noon one for prejudging. You have
and
finals.
again, I'm not like in the business to know anything. I guess even when I was younger, I never understood why it was at night. Like, what difference does it make if it's in people are gonna go regardless.
Exactly.
It just does us a disservice to a degree because like, bro, we won't get back to the hotel room till some. I remember the last one I did in 2022. We didn't get back to the hotel room till like past midnight, almost 1 a.m.
Yeah, and then
And then
your
you got
stuff's
to
all
eat,
fucked
you
up.
got to go to bed, you got to shower. Have at the time when I was working with Matt, he's got to look at me to see how I'm looking, tell
Yeah.
me what to eat, go to bed. Like, is it a huge deal? Maybe not crazy, but does it make a difference? I
Mhm.
think so.
I think it does make a difference. And I just think from a stress standpoint, it's a lot less stress on the athlete if they just keep it in one day instead
It
of
is.
splitting it
You
up.
get done prejudging, you head back to the room, you kind of chill out, relax, take a little snooze, head
Yeah.
back to the finals.
Maybe
And
it,
I understand open is like it's open, but considering like everybody else has a 1 day show, I think we should be 1 day.
I want to know what what their decision making was to turn it into a 2 day show. Because has it always been a 2 day show?
Yeah, for open, I believe.
Which I mean, well, okay. So like when Dorian was competing, was it a 2 day show?
That's a good question. I want to say yeah, but
But see, it's like when did they make the switch?
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I
Because
really don't know.
I don't think it was like obviously when Arnold was competing, it was just bodybuilding, but it was more like the classic end of things. I don't think it was a 2 day show then. It was just a one boop, you step on stage, you go through your stuff, and then you win. So it's like
I
who
just yeah, I just think every show because like Pittsburgh, like I just think it can go more smoother for everybody.
yeah, and you don't even have to split it up like male one day, female the next. You can do a mix of one on one day and then do a mix of the other the next day, just so you
And
have like
now that I personally believe, um, obviously there's certain categories that are just they just are more entertaining than others. We can be realistic.
oh, I agree. You have more
I think the top two, obviously, right now are open and classic.
Yep.
I would have classic on one day, open on another. Whether it doesn't matter as long as this is classic's day, this is open's day, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think from a business standpoint it would detriment anything.
It wouldn't, because you have people buying tickets for both days because they want to see both.
They're gonna want to see exactly. I agree.
It could be something in the future, maybe. I don't know if it will change, but if it does, I don't think it would be a bad thing at all.
And obviously, I look at it from just like even a health standpoint. Like 2 days is hard, man. Like
It
let's be
is.
honest.
Well, like the show day is technically the unhealthiest day, really, of like a show prep. It's it's not good. It's not good for you to be at that
No
state.
matter
And
how you want to look at it, like yeah, it is. But we're all gonna do what we gotta do to win. But the reality is, it's like 2 days is
it's a lot on your
very
body to
it's
be
a
at
lot
that
on the
distance,
yeah.
for sure.
And I for those reasons, and I think cause I mean even the Arnold was one day at one. Like when I won, it was one day. They
Yes.
switched it. They switched it the following year. I don't know why, but they did.
Interesting. Yeah, because you won it in 2021, and so they
Yeah,
switched
and
it
it
to
was one day. 2022, they went to 2 days.
Was it like that in like 2018, 2019? It was just a one day.
No, I believe it was always one day for open.
See, I wonder why they switched it. Interesting. I mean, obviously, it's going to be, you get more ticket sales when you switch it too. So that could be, again, business standpoint. I'm not in the business of shows, so I don't know how much of a
I'm
difference it
sure
actually.
that plays a big role,
For
but
sure.
I would love for them to try and do like a 1 day show 1 year and just
See how
see
it
how
goes.
it goes.
Yeah.
And if it goes the way we all think, we keep it. If it like just backfired a little bit, okay, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
But at least there was an attempt for a year.
Well, even USA's is a 2 day show now, and that's for all categories.
Yeah, I know. So is nationals.
Nationals is they split it male and female.
I believe when I did nationals, I was on 2 days.
Really?
Yeah,
When I did it in 23, they had all the men went Friday and then all the females went Saturday.
yeah.
No,
I went Friday
Friday.
and Saturday, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
See, they switched it back because open bodybuilding, there was just all one day, morning and
I
night.
remember. Yeah,
That's so weird. They like
I
keep like
know.
changing it back and
I'm
forth.
pretty sure North Americans and Universe are 1 day.
Those are all 1 day shows. It's just USA's is a 2 day show for everybody.
Yeah,
For classic, for wellness, for
I
bodybuilding.
remember because I remember I went on Friday morning for
Yeah.
nationals. They had prejudging in the morning, and then Saturday night was finals.
Yeah, so that's a day and a half. It's not even like it's a full day difference. Will you ever want to make your own show?
Yeah, I would in
Are
time
you
for sure.
Would you make it just NPC, or would it be like an NPC, like a pro am show?
I would do a pro AM show.
Hmm.
I think that'd be cool, and I'd probably do it here in Jersey.
Yeah, you do in your hometown. I think that'd be smart
Yeah,
to do for sure.
I
Do you
would. I
know?
would love to do that
Have you thought about just like details of like how you want like the trophies and that kind of stuff?
on a big ass mutant looking motherfucker.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's my show, right? So I kind of want it
You
to
get to
be
choose what
about
you want to do.
them, but like represent me too at the same time.
Well, no, you get to choose like that's what's cool because like with the show in December that you'll see
Yeah,
with Maria's old coach Matt, he gets like you get to choose everything you want for the show, like how you do the trophies, obviously what
yeah.
you're
I would have some big
doing.
ass mutant going.
Yeah, it'd be
Uh,
cool. It'd be super cool
yeah, but as you know, I would try and just do things the way I would want to do it.
for sure. No, I think it's the fun part of doing your own show is like you get to do all the customizations for everything that you want, and like obviously with sponsors who you want there and stuff, and how big you want it to be in terms of because your show would be a big show, obviously.
I would want it to be huge. And you know me, bro. I'm like OCD with time. So like having everything run on time, I'm a stickler. Like
Yeah, you'd be screaming at people. You like, get your fucking shit together.
yeah, like if men's are supposed to go on at like 9:15, like by 9:10 they're starting.
Yeah,
Like you know what I mean? Like
Would you do it in
Let's
the area
go.
you're at, or would you do it up in Teaneck where like Steve does a show?
I would probably do it more up there.
Yeah, it's easier
Yeah.
for people to fly in and get to like the
Well,
venue.
that, and it's just like I do find that's just more of a bodybuilding area than where I'm at. Like it's growing a little by little here, which is awesome. But I would still say up there, and plus T Nick is like the hotel that is very accommodating for things of that nature. Not believe it or not, not like a lot of hotels are.
Right, it's
Um,
hard.
so it's I know that one is very accommodating, and
Mhm.
obviously it's just where we all go, right? So
Yeah.
that would probably be the best route to take.
Would you start it like after you're done competing, or is it something that you would do while you're still competing?
Probably after.
Yeah, just to have more
Probably
time.
after. Yeah.
No, I think that'd be fun.
Have
The
you
walk
had plans
back,
of doing that?
doing a show. I think it'd be fun. It's just dependent on like what state I would want it to be in, and it also it just depends too on it's a process because I talked to Matt about it because you have to talk with your chairman and they have to give you approval for the show, and then if
And
you
make
want to have
sure
like a
even
second
the
show,
dates too.
the
Yeah.
dates you have to like you can't choose the dates. You can't choose, oh hey, I want to do a second show. They have to pretty much give it to you, and you're like, hey, you can do a show in this county or this county. You can choose.
Yeah.
This one would be this date. This one would be this date. So that's the only kind of tricky thing is you can't specifically pick those, which is okay. Like they have a system around it, but
Right.
I think if I did one, I would say back in Reno, but there's already so many center podium shows there, and I wouldn't want to
Uh,
step on Chris's toes because he has really good shows.
there's a lot of shows there. Yeah.
Yeah, they have all the center podium shows are there. Legion's there, all the bigger shows.
I
But
feel like I
Florida
feel
has
like
a shit ton
Chicago.
of shows.
I feel like Chicago would be dope.
Chicago would be cool to do a show. I mean, there's not many. There's
There's like
only
I feel like there's a decent, but not a lot.
there's only a couple NPC shows throughout the year, and the only pro show up here is Tim Gardner's.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think it'd be something cool to do in the future.
You could probably create a really big one.
For sure. I think it'd be fun. And that's so I talked to Matt because I was like, I think it'd be cool to do a show in the future. And that's he was saying a pro am, he's like, it's also hard to get approval for that if you're in a state where there's a lot of pro shows, because then
It's
it's like,
already a lot.
yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I think it's a cool venture to go in, especially if you really love bodybuilding, obviously.
I agree. I agree. That's why I think it'd be cool to have mine. I've already thought about it. So,
Would you do gym first or do your show?
I mean, it depends where I'm at.
Yeah. Because with
Honestly,
gym
it
would
just
be post
depends.
bodybuilding too, right? You wouldn't try to dabble that like while you're competing.
I mean, that's something I would like to start dabbling like next year.
Yeah. It's just gyms are, especially if you're going to be very front facing with it, it's just you're at the gym a lot doing things.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's something I'll have to think about, but I feel like I don't know. We'll see where I'm at. I mean, having my own gym obviously is like something I've always wanted, and I've always wanted to kind of do my own show for a few years. I mean, whatever opportunity I feel presents itself first, I'll just take it.
I feel like gym would make more sense first over doing the show. Like you go gym then show, but like you said, you don't want to
Yeah.
force anything really.
I'm just going with the flow, dog.
That's good.
Going with the
That's
flow.
awesome.
Back in action.
Back in action. Okay, well we have like 15-ish minutes left since that was terrible. I'm just not gonna touch anything even if it's getting fucked up.
It's all right. Just yeah, put your put your hand on your lap.
Sitting on my hands, bro. I'm not fucking moving them. Sorry, everybody. Okay.
Your face, you were like, what the fuck? And then it just went
Dude,
black.
my computer started fucking glitching out. I was like, what's happening?
That was kind of funny. Not gonna lie to
It
you.
was a little funny.
It was worth a giggle or two.
um, we need to get you like a more professional setup for
My professional setup doesn't shut down on me, so I'm good.
it doesn't. But did you see somebody commented? They're like, "What's that buzzing noise?"
Oh, I know. It's my fan. I have a fan on in the back.
I didn't realize that. So I like listened. I was like, it's like, I'm like,
Yeah, it's my fan. I have look. I'll show you. I have a little a little mini fan.
bro, don't put it directly behind your phone.
You see it?
Yeah, put it
Yeah.
like to the side so it still blows on
Well, I don't know.
you. Is it plugged in or is it like a wireless?
Oh yeah, I can't move this. This shit's like chilling hard. I'll have to find another. I'll have to bring the one from my bedroom in here next time.
Your big standing one. You have to get a new one because you broke the other one, right?
Oh, I have another one. I have one.
You have access to things.
Yeah, I'm not. You think I'm gonna go a night without a fan? You're insane, bro.
How have you like listening to dark sport so far?
Oh, they're awesome. I love dark sport.
Do you have? You're not doing any events before the Olympia, are you?
Nope. Chilling. Locked in, baby.
Good. That's good.
Locked the fuck in.
Are you doing a booth appearance at the Olympia for them?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't. This Super Bowl. I don't. Everyone knows me. I stand on business with that. I'm locked in. Don't bother me.
That's okay. That's
I'll
fine.
see everybody at the meet and greet. Can't wait to meet everybody. And that's that. I'll see you after the show, too. I'm not standing on my 2 feet before the show whatsoever.
Yeah, you have a chair that you just chill out at the.
I do. I sit down the whole time.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not standing.
No, this. I mean, if I stand for like a long period of time, my legs just get very watery.
That's what I'm saying. But a lot of people, like, there were like, I know some people complained that I did that and I sat. And it's like, look, I'm excited to meet everyone. Like, I truly love it. I can't wait to meet people. But I also have to find that balance to where I can still execute what needs to be done and meet everybody that wants to meet me and that I, obviously want to meet everyone too. So
Yeah.
don't look at it as disrespect. It's like, look, you're about to watch me try and present the best look that I can and win the Olympia. So look at it as like we're both doing a job. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah,
is the
like
job. We need to execute and get it done.
exactly.
And it's not a disrespecting. It's just I can't wait to meet you, but I don't want my legs to flush out.
No, like some people can stand for that amount of time and be fine, but there's
Yeah, I can't. I've tried it. Like I don't. It doesn't work in my favor.
no. It's I would rather have someone be like, "Oh, why aren't you standing?" Versus your legs look like shit on stage. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. If I'm not competing, everyone I stand. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. But like when I'm competing, I'm sitting. Like that's. I'm gonna make sure every factor is executed to the best of my ability. That's in my control.
No, I don't think it's about it. I don't
You
think
know.
it's. I think a lot of people just take it as disrespect if you don't stand up. I don't know. It's just a. I think it's a society like a. I don't know what the fucking word is.
No, it is what it is. I don't see it that way. I see like, look, I'm excited to meet all of you, but I also am going to be on stage the following day, so I want to make sure
Yeah,
I'm well rested and everything else is, going as according to plan. And that's it.
for sure. No, I don't disagree with that. I was gonna ask you because I had a couple of people comment on
What?
comment on the podcast. What do you think the most overrated movement is for hypertrophy? I said flat barbell bench. I don't think there's
I
any.
was gonna say deadlift,
Really?
a regular deadlift. Yeah.
Do you think that's you think that's more overrated than flat bench?
I mean, I think they're both overrated.
If you're to
But you
pick,
have to look. I look at it in this perspective. You flat bench, like I believe you are hitting just chest. So you can get a good amount of hypertrophy from that movement. Where deadlift, I think deadlift is a great movement. I mean I love it. You know that. But in terms of that, I think there's better movements to utilize, just like bench press. But I think you're incorporating so much in a deadlift that it's too overtaxing of a movement over a bench press, in my opinion.
I so when I started training, I first started lifting, I was deadlifting a lot, and so I'm very biased to it and saying that I think it's actually pretty good because I got big pretty quick when I started doing deadlifts.
Oh, listen, I think deadlift is a phenomenal movement, but I don't think in a bodybuilding realm, the more you get experienced in, in body, I don't think it's.
So you'd rather have Kyle program flat barbell bench than deadlift straight?
I wouldn't do neither.
If you had to choose one of the
Oh
two.
no, I would deadlift just because I love them more. But if you're asking me a question, I'm going to tell you my honesty. It's one of those things. Do as I say, not as I do.
No, I know. I'm just saying if you would choose deadlift over flat barbell to be the most overrated.
Yeah, just from a fatigue standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say I feel like if you were to bench press every week, you could probably recover from that. If you were to deadlift every single week, heavy as fuck, that it's gonna get taxing very fast.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people that do heavy flat barbell also end up tearing their pec.
And a lot of people that do heavy deadlifts end up tearing their hamstrings.
That's a good. I don't disagree with that.
You know what I mean? Or I
Yeah,
also know a lot of people that have deadlifted and torn their lats. So you
yeah,
know,
yeah, for sure. Well, because they're not using leg drive; they're just trying to push.
or they just entirely fuck their lower back and then they can't move.
Really true. People have
I,
also told me
so
that benching too.
yeah, but in hindsight, the risk versus reward is not as is worse on a deadlift than it is a bench press.
If you're lifting him properly, yes, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? Well, let's be honest. They're both ego lifts. No one's gonna go up in there and try and hit 315 on a deadlift for 15. We're stacking weight, bro. Like it is what it is.
Yeah,
So when you look at it in an injury perspective, because of how much a deadlift requires, I do think that's a more riskier movement than a bench press for sure. But if the non educational side of me, I'll deadlift heavy all fucking day. I don't give a damn. I love to deadlift, and I do think it's a very good movement to utilize because I do think it builds overall density and size.
yeah.
But the further you get into a career, just like a bench press, is it needed? No. I rather at this point, like when I rather do an RDL. Or honestly, if I really want to really, really hit the hamstring hard, I rather lean over a lower back extension, hold a dumbbell, stretch out my hamstrings, and come up and squeeze my hamstrings really tight.
Yeah. For the I agree. I would hold my barbell bench. I think it's fucking stupid.
Oh, barbell is dumb as shit. I mean, we never do them, right? But
No.
we definitely do a sort of a deadlift, and I'm like, I will always do that. But I just, again, if we look at like just the bigger picture from an injury standpoint, from a fatigue standpoint, and all the other ish kebabs, I think a deadlift kind of takes the cake there a little bit.
I could see it.
But I will deadlift over a bench press any day of the week.
Absolutely. I think
I don't give a damn. I mean, we don't squat. I hate squatting.
no, we don't do bar. I think barbell
I
squat.
honestly could say, people will 100% disagree with me on this. I think squats are overrated.
Really
I stopped squatting. My legs are huge now.
fair, but you do different variations of squats.
Hack squats. I'm talking about a barbell squat.
Yeah, but it's a variation.
Yeah, but when you say squat, no one's gonna go, "Oh, you don't." They know we hack squat, bro.
I know.
Like
I know that. Even
this
when
is, and we tried it like once or twice, and we stopped. Like, nah.
yeah, when we did the safety bar squat, I just felt very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm just listen. I understand these movements are beneficial, and I do think maybe starting out at a young age, they should be included.
It's
But
foundational.
yeah, but as you get older, you get more experience. You know how to work muscles in different ways. You just do what works best for you, and that's it. And I was super strong at squats. I have videos, having 6 plates on my back for 8 reps, all the way down, all the way up. Did my legs really grow? Maybe like around, you know what I mean? Sure, but did my quads really grow? No. The moment I stopped doing them and utilized more leg press and hacks, my quads now blew up. So, like I said, they're just not for me. So,
Yeah, if you wanna isolate like a specific muscle group, doing a squat or doing a deadlift isn't the best because you're hitting multiple muscle groups at the same time. Like you're hitting your entire leg squatting versus if you just want quads, then you should do something that's a quad
I
focused
think
movement.
those specific movements of squat, or and this is my opinion, I would utilize them at the end of a workout.
When you're
And
like,
I would try so that way you can't go as heavy because I mean, you're fucked.
yeah,
But I would try to go as heavy as I can within a 10 to 15 rep range. One set, done deal, go home.
I used to do that. I switched it for a while when I first started training. I would do squats at the end of my workout, and I would do deadlifts at the end of my workout.
Those I then I can see like the true benefit there, right? But let's just say you start your back training with deadlifts. 9 times out of 10, maybe eight, you already fatigued yourself because we all know how that's going to go when you start with deadlifts. And depending where you're at in your off season, your back's probably low back's probably fucked, pumped to the max. So now the rest of your workout's going to be dog dick.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather get what I need out of it at the end of the training session.
Yeah.
I think those movements, as a very experienced lifter, can be beneficial at the end of a workout versus the beginning of a workout.
Yeah, I think it's good to try and just see what benefits you
Because
get.
I used to end with them. Like I would do before me and you like really started training, you know, when I had like just one day of kind of everything, I would end my back day with deadlifts and like one variation of a hamstring. And what I would do is I would try to work up to whatever weight I could do for that movement for 10 to 12. So I would be able to get like 5 plates on each side for 10 to 12.
That's
And
smart.
I would do that until I hit 15, and then I would jump up a little bit in weight, and then for the following week I wouldn't do it that week. I would do it the following week,
Yeah.
and then go from there. And I did see progression there because, and this is another thing I think when you deadlift, you're focused on the weight, right? So yes, even though you're incorporating a lot of muscles, are you really even feeling the muscles? You know what I mean? Like you're just worried about pulling that shit. I feel like when you do it at the end, you can kind of focus more on hitting the hamstrings a little better, even hitting the glutes a little better, even rolling the shoulders back in the deadlift and kind of hitting the back more. You know what I mean?
Well, this is where
And do
eating
it.
gets away with a lot of people.
Yeah,
They're not seeing growth that they want to see. Because if you're training for aesthetic purposes, weight doesn't mean it means absolutely nothing. If you can make 10 pounds feel heavy on a bicep curl and you get stimulus to your muscle, you're going to gain muscle. If it's powerlifting or strongman, then it's like, yeah, you obviously have to
I've
do it.
gotten more fatigued. I hate to use this word now because everyone's like bashing it, but
Yeah, everybody.
uh,
I was gonna say like some people are gonna say some bullshit in the
I don't
comments.
know what other word to use. But I feel like I've gotten more fatigued doing lighter weight, still the same control of negatives, but just going full range of motion. Like I've gotten more fatigued that way than if I was to like lift heavy as fuck.
Yeah, because I was playing around with it with my training like the last couple weeks on hack squat, like not going. I'm obviously not just like dropping down with the weight and going back up, but I wasn't doing super slow control like we usually do, just to kind of
Yeah.
see. And you definitely don't. There's not. I wouldn't say there's not as good of a connection, but my quads were pumped, but I didn't necessarily connect as well with my entire quad. Like were my legs
Yeah.
pumped? Yes, they were. But I'm like, okay, what do I benefit the same doing this versus if I went a little bit slower? But again, I also think that's person to person. If you feel doing a certain movement more than the other way, do whatever you see the best progression with.
Yeah. Again, this is it's very person dependent. Like right now, because I've done a good amount of high reps and I have like that little fatigue, inflammation feeling. I'm still gonna perform the same. Just now I'm going to try it different where I go a little heavier, but keep the reps lower
Yeah.
and see how that does for my body. Because, yes, even though it's heavier, so you automatically think, well, more fatigue. Not necessarily. It's less reps, which is going to create less inflammation down the road.
No, it's overall load on your body. Like if you're doing heavy weight a shitload of reps, it's a lot of load on your body. If you're doing
Of
heavyweight load
course.
reps, it's less load. If you're doing lighter weight, a lot of reps, it's still a lot of load on your body. Like it's, I think a lot of people confuse load in terms of just weight, and they don't
Yes.
count in reps in actual sets that they're doing too.
Yes. I think hard reps will create more fatigue than whatever weight you're using, no matter what.
Yeah, it's more stimulus to the muscle. Like the more
You know what I
stimulus.
mean? Like if you're doing a hard 20, and let's just say they're both like the same in terms of like pump, contraction, it's negative, all the same. One's 15 reps, one's let's say 10 reps. You're gonna get more fatigued on the 15 than you are the 10.
For
It's
sure.
just common. It's just common. Even if it is a little heavier, it's just common sense.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and I also just found like me being heavier. Obviously, I'm gonna get fatigued a little more. But I have found recently, like when I do sessions where they are a little bit lower rep, I wake up the next day lighter. So
Really.
yeah,
Yeah, it's less. It's less. I mean, the less inflammation you have, obviously, you're not going to.
yeah. So it's funny because you think when you're heavy, you can you can still train the same. When I was 4 weeks ago, 260. 220, 25 pounds is a dramatic difference.
Exactly.
And because I am, we are doing somewhat of the same split, so the frequency is there, right? So if you're training and you're not necessarily fully recovered, you're just creating more inflammation over.
Exactly.
There's no time.
And that's where
So
you can see a physique go backwards if you're not. It's like I know everyone's like, "Oh, fatigue recovery management, fucking bullshit." If you're not, if you're going into each session and you're very, very sore and you just don't feel good, you're not going to progress.
no, and here's the thing, right? Like I do think people are taking this fatigue shit to a different level. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah,
But it is a good indicator that maybe you should lower the volume, maybe, or do something a touch different, especially if frequency is there, right? If you're training legs twice a week, like we do, Monday and Friday, and let's just say you train Monday, by Friday, you're still pretty sore, you probably should not go as hard that Friday and maybe do less volume on Monday. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah,
And if you feel it's a mind fuck, but if you feel like reality, you can get all you need out of one set, then just do one and see what
Dorian
happens.
did it and it worked.
Huh?
Dorian did that and it worked.
I think you can become really good at that the more experience. Like when you know how to connect with a muscle very hard, you can do one. I wholeheartedly believe that. But it's a mind fuck and nobody wants to do that.
No,
Including me. I even just said in the video I think I just uploaded. It's so hard for me to do one set and be like, yeah, that was good. No, I gotta do at least two. Two is the minimum.
yeah, for sure.
And that's sort of like with the fatigue. It's like, look, no one they'll say like, don't train to a failure. Don't no. Train to a fucking failure, bro. Like or at least mechanical failure. Like if you know you can't get another okay, cool, you're done. Like just
Yeah,
let it be.
yeah,
Do another set but like don't do 12, and you had like 16 in you. And you know what I mean? Like fucking go, bro. Like
I
train
agree.
hard.
Yes,
Just base it how you feel going into your next session of that same body part, or even the next day, if you feel like you've done too much or not. That's really how you're gonna know.
yeah. No, I think it's good.
And sometimes I'm weird. I rather overshoot my load than undershoot.
That's what he said.
But no, I would because I'd rather pull back
Yeah, I agree.
than do another. Than have to
Yeah,
be like, oh, I could have went harder.
yeah. You'd rather do a little
That's
bit.
me. That's me though.
Well, no, I agree. I think you'd rather do a little bit more and be like, oh, okay, I was a little bit too much. Let's just draw back a
Yeah,
little bit. For sure. I think it's good. Well, that was a good episode, despite the issue with my mic
that's
computer.
okay.
But it's okay. It's only episode 7. We're gonna get to like the 300th episode, and everything will be crispy,
Tip top shape.
tip top shape. Well, we
I know.
appreciate it.
I'm
Huh?
gonna have to start buying some high tech shit.
You got it, bro. I'll show you like mics and stuff and different cameras you can use. Because do you have like
Yeah.
do you have a desktop computer?
In my it's my mom's, yeah, but in the office room we do, yeah.
Okay, because you literally can set up like you can connect a camera to the computer for like higher quality, the mics and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I'll show you the stuff.
All right.
We'll get all crispy for the both of us.
Crispy.
Well, we appreciate everyone joining, watching for episode 7. As always, you guys are great with like the comments. I think a lot of we get
Fantastic.
feedback every episode, so we appreciate that. Somebody left a comment. I could not find it. They wanted to know our favorites of a bunch of different things. So if you can leave that again, so I can actually screenshot it and mark it down for the next episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very helpful. So, well, we appreciate everyone. We will see you guys next week for episode 8, and you'll be 13 weeks out.
Yeah. Fuck.